Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about the kind of karma that someone is going to be facing. This is a great one if someone was messing with you or treating you really badly. We're going to tune into the spiritual consequences they're going to be facing for them mistreating you. So yeah, this one is going to be a juicy one. Today we have a beautiful selection of tropical fruits for you guys to choose from, and I am going to show you guys what they look like up close. If it's your first pick a card reading, you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling called to and drawn to. So don't necessarily make up your mind based on like, oh, that I could really go for an apple right now, but you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling pulled to, called to. You could even try closing your eyes and seeing if a number, color, or name pops up to guide you to the right pile. But generally speaking, trust your intuition on this. And if for some reason one of these fruits is super spiritually significant to you, like you just have a real spiritual connection to pomegranate or something, then that could be your sign from spirit. But for the most part, you want to trust your intuition and the vibes you're getting and let that draw you and pull you into the right pile. And as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the comments and the description to flip into your pile. So you can see all the timestamps and just click on the pile you want to watch. I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings, about 45 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, relocation, so many different topics. I just posted one all about the gossip that people are saying about you and how you should handle it. So if you're already watching this reading and someone's been treating you badly, then you definitely might want to check that one out too, just to see if they're talking behind your back as well. But we also have some love readings. I posted what is your person fantasizing about you. That's a really juicy and fun one, and it is 18 plus, but we also get into some deep emotions. But there's so many different topics over there, over 45 additional readings, and you get access to all of them when you sign up. So literally any topic you could think of, I think we've probably covered, and there's just a lot of content over there to check out. So if you'd like to join us over on Patreon, head on down to the link in my description and underneath the timestamps in the comments as well. So let me show you guys what they look like up close. So this is going to be pile 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let me show you guys this. So this one is star fruit, looking really, really good. Okay, and then we have pile 2, and this one is pomegranate. I love the detail, the little hairs. And then this one is soursop, aka something apple. I can't remember what kind of apple, but it's soursop or sweet apple or something like that. Anyway, if you guys know, you can drop it in the comments. But I've had these, they're really good. And this one is apple, just regular apple. I think this one is star apple. I think that's what it is. So pile 3 is star apple or soursop. This one is regular apple. And yeah, you guys can see all the others. So I also want to mention to you guys that I do have private readings on offer at my website, briarrosetarot.com. So if you'd like to get a private one-on-one session with me and have me give you my undivided attention for whatever question you have, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can book a half-hour or a full-hour session with me and let me tune into whatever question you want me to answer, or just do an energy check-in, a year ahead reading. There's so many things to choose from, and you can have me focus on astrology, mediumship, channeling, psychic, or doing tarot. So you get to really decide. And like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, if you would like that. The link for that is in my description as well. So with all that being said, guys, thanks for watching. And if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we are going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey, pile 1, so if you guys picked this star fruit, this is going to be your reading. So it looks super realistic. There's lots of detailing and shading on it. And yeah, let's get into your cards though. So you guys got the 3 of Wands, 6 of Cups, Page of Wands, 8 of Cups, the Star reversed, 4 of Cups, 9 of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So for a lot of you guys, I feel like you might have been targeted pile 1 because first of all, you guys make quite an impression. You're very attractive and you seem to be the center of attention. There may have even been some romantic jealousy directed towards you at some point. Maybe this person felt threatened by your presence, your energy, your vibe, and your attractiveness. Maybe they were worried that you are someone who gets more romantic attention than they do, and that if you were to like be standing next to them, that you would definitely take the attention away. It could even be that they had a romantic partner that was more attracted to you or noticed you in the moment or something like that. But I feel like a lot of it is that this person doesn't have the energy themselves to kind of get the kind of attention that you do and to make the kind of notice that a lot of you guys make. You're quite attractive. I feel like you're quite stunning. And I feel like that was a big part of maybe the hate directed towards you. Maybe people just feel drawn to you guys and they kind of can't take their eyes off you. With that star reverse, this person might be insecure about their own ability to attract attention and their own partner's level of attention that they pay to you versus them, that kind of a thing. So as far as the karma that this person might face, I do feel like they could be left by this romantic partner. They could have a romantic partner leave them in some way, or just have things be very unsettled. This might actively keep them up at night now. They might be in a situation now where this is something that worries them and plays at the back of their mind, which is why they got irritated by your presence, is because they were comparing you or thinking of you coming in, and it's almost like a trigger for them. Any attractive person, or like if you're an attractive guy, any attractive guy, or if you're an attractive woman, any attractive woman, I feel like could have had this effect where it like destabilizes their fragile sense of self-worth because they're already thinking about their partner not paying enough attention to them. Feels like to me this person places a lot of self-worth on their relationship with their partner, and that's very central to their life and to their identity, and they're very worried about anything coming in to mess that around. And maybe even this is a situation where them and their partner have kind of a not super great relationship, and they might find like random people to kind of bond over, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's be really rude to the cashier because it's kind of us versus them, and maybe they get into a big argument with the cashier just so that they can kind of turn to each other and have a conversation in the car ride on the way back and be like, oh my god, like that cashier was so out of line, I'm glad we, you know, left a complaint or something like that. I feel like this is a way that maybe they bond together. They could even both be narcissists or something like that. Or this person could just be a negative person. If they're not in a relationship, this person could just be a negative person who bases their sense of very fragile self-worth on having power over others and having the ability to boss people around, having the ability to tell someone off. It's like they don't have the confidence to stand on their own 2 feet. So I feel like this person, if they're not in a relationship, they would be the kind who's constantly seeking out relationship, constantly trying to find allies and friends and kind of team up with people. It could even be friends that are teaming up against you, like a friend group or something, where they feel irritated and insecure about you, and so they kind of band together to have it be more than, you know, not just a one-on-one fight, but like multiple versus one. It feels like they don't really feel safe standing on their own 2 feet. They don't really have the confidence or really the raw materials, I feel like, to win in that kind of a situation. They feel like they have to have like someone else on their side. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is someone that's tried to kind of rally up others to get them to join their fight, or try to, you know, gossip behind your back or start whispering about you, or that kind of a thing. Because it just feels like that's this person's vibe and MO, is like they need others around and they care very much about what other people think. And I think that's why your presence irritates them so much, is because it feels to me like a lot of you guys are super kind of independent, and it feels like you don't need anyone else's energy around you to get attention or to have people focus on you. It feels like you are just automatically a star upright. And so for them, I feel like your stunning quality, and also Queen of Cups, I feel like that's kind of you, is you're compassionate, you're nice, you're kind, you're sweet. And I feel like this person just really gets irritated because there's something quite charming about that. The Queen of Cups is probably one of the most beautiful energies, especially when it comes to like a feminine energy, but masculines who embody this energy as well are super attractive. So it's very caring. A lot of people tend to fall in love with this energy. And so I feel like you have a naturally gentle, sweet quality that this person could never have, and it irritates them because they value partnership so much. They value being liked so much, and it feels like you guys are naturally well liked, naturally beloved, naturally form relationships, and you don't even have to try. You're not having to scheme on it. You're not having to manipulate anyone. You're just naturally that way. You're naturally someone that pulls people in and gets people to want to be around you. And because of that, I feel like this person just gets, very irritated, or it really irks them to see that level of respect and how people are so drawn to you in that way. And so I feel like that's why, is they keep paying attention to how easy things come to you, how, wow, like, I can't believe pile one it just has things flow to them in this, and I can't believe pile one doesn't have to try, doesn't have to be mean or cruel or scheme on anything. It just naturally happens for them. I want to get more tarot. Pile one, Spirit, can you please give me into pile one's energy and what kind of karma this person is going to be facing? What kind of karma is this person going to be facing? Okay, so we got the Hermit reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, Four of Wands reversed. I'm telling you guys, a big part of their karma might have to do with relationships. They might have some really heavy aspects in the 7th house, like Saturn there, or even some kind of bad aspects with the North Node. I feel like, or the South Node, but I feel like a big thing they kind of are going to have to learn in this lifetime is, it feels like their relationships are going to get messed around with. So if this person is in a relationship, they could very well, like a marriage, they very well might get divorced. Or if they're in a romantic relationship, they might break up. Or if they are really close to a family member, like their daughter or their son, they might get estranged from them or something like that. But I feel like with their very closest relationships, they're going to have to go through a period where they're in like the hermit mode, and they don't have that community around them that they have tried to cling to so badly. Because I do feel like this person does this thing of creating enemies. Like I said, it's kind of like that couple where they're arguing 24/7, and maybe they're in a bad place, in their relationship. So they randomly run into, like I said, a cashier, and instead of just doing a normal checkout, they decide to start fighting with the cashier over nothing. And maybe it ruins that cashier's day and the person's really upset, but they don't care, because for them, all they wanted in that moment was to prop up the relationship. And when you have a common enemy, when you have someone you can both bond over, like, I can't believe that cashier said that, well, you put her in her place, then you can kind of come back from that and have a little moment of bonding, So I feel like this person and their relationship, they're always kind of on that hunt to find someone that they can kind of fight with and have an oppositional relationship with, so that they can have bonding in their relationship, which I think it's the thing that means the most to them. I also wouldn't be surprised if this person is genuinely narcissistic and has some narcissism, because it's giving narcissist vibes, because narcissists have such low self-esteem that they always have to be looking for like they get irritated as well by other people's light. They get irritated when someone is a bright light shining and other people are attracted to them, because it reminds them of their own lack of self-worth and their own feeling of not being good enough. So I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if this person is a narcissist in some way. But it feels like they need a third party to kind of scapegoat and to kind of bond with their partner. It feels like their partner or their relationships, whether it's a romantic partner or even a business partner or friends or family members, but it feels like they always need to have someone in their corner. They're not capable to stand on their own 2 feet. They're very needy emotionally, I feel like, to this person, and they need to have this person around to kind of make their fragile sense of identity somewhat okay. They need to have someone that they can point to and blame to make their relationship flow a little bit. But it's funny, because all the work they put into maintaining this relationship and keeping things going, it's going to end in tears. It's going to end in a disaster. And with this person leaving them, I really wouldn't be surprised. And if it is romantic, with this person losing attraction for them, with this Ace of Wands reversed. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it leads, this is why they're so insecure by you guys being the star Queen of Cups vibe, is I feel like they would not be they are expecting, and they know that maybe their partner or whoever is not that physically attracted to them. And it's almost like they might be going extra to try to please their partner, you know, pulling out all the stops, being like, babe, I bought new lingerie, and, you know, oh, let's try this, and like going so over the top to try to like just please let things continue going, let things keep moving, and I don't want this to fall apart. And I feel like you walk in effortless. You are just in your energy, in your beauty, and it just riles this person up and like triggers it so deep in them. You know, they really, I feel like a lot of you guys have a beautiful effect on others that they could never have on their best day, even if they tried so hard. So I feel like that's a big part of it, is just the envy. The envy is coming through really strong, but it's kind of inevitable. They're trying to hold something back. You know, it's like I'm seeing someone put their thumb in a dam, you know, which I think is a metaphor people say, but it's like, you know, you can only plug up that hole for so long before it is gonna, you have to pull your thumb out. Like at some point you're gonna have to go do something, or, you know, you're just not gonna be able to stand there for all of eternity. So you're gonna have to remove your thumb off the dam, and when you do, it's gonna come pouring out. So that's the thing, is I feel like with this person, like they're only gonna be able to hold on to this for so long, and it's just gonna crash and burn eventually, their relationship, and then they're gonna be so like upset and just, yeah. So we got the root girl, the disowned self, the horned cactus, resourcefulness, me talks, repairing the body, mind, spirit, spirit of the river, movement towards adventure. So they're also saying one of the things they're jealous of when it comes to and envious of is the fact that you guys are very bold, bright. It feels like you are quite adventurous. You just like are always on to something new now, next. You, I feel like, are very unafraid, and there's something quite charming about that. Like I feel like people are drawn to you because of that, because this energy, this special, like open and, like I said, adventurous vibe. I don't know how else to put it, but it feels like you guys are, there's some kind of excitement around you guys. There's something kind of fun, new, fresh. And I feel like that you might even be younger than this person, and that's why you're irritating them so much. Yeah, or you guys might even look young. You might not even be younger than them, but you might look way younger than them, and this person is assuming you're younger. And I feel like there's a freshness with your energy. There's something like bold and bright and cool and exciting that I think this person could just never compare with. But also with me talks coming out, honestly, some of you guys might have just accumulated some very intense negative energy from this person, where you might be having to take a spiritual bath, or you might, if you're having to interact with them on a daily basis, try wearing some crystals, black protective crystals like obsidian, or tourmaline. I feel like a lot of you guys need to wear, you know, a little bit of protection just to block off your energy. You can also imagine yourself surrounded with like mirrors around yourself, or just with walls up around you if you're having to interact with them, and also pray for protection. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, like you might just have accumulated negative energy from dealing with this person. I can see why their energy is quite negative, but you know, you can always remove yourself from that energy by taking a shower or taking a bath. So if a bath, especially ideally a spiritual bath with Epsom salt in it, with setting the intention over the water to cleanse yourself. But if you can't do that, you can take a shower and set the intention as well, to just remove it from you. And you might come out being like, oh, I feel so much lighter. And you're like, why can't I stop thinking about this person in the meantime? And that's probably why, is because their energy is still attached to you, and it feels like they have a very filthy energy. It feels like their energy field around them is just like trash. It's like a trash dump, you know? It's just nasty and rotten and moldy and that kind of a thing. And I feel like you've absorbed some of it just because they're kind of a hater energy. Like I feel like if it's not you, like I said, it's gonna be someone else. I feel like this is a habitual thing with this person, is finding a random shopkeeper they can be rude to, or calling in to complain about like a product they bought because it doesn't quite work perfectly because of this, even if it's like not an issue. It feels like they're just looking for something to be upset about. And a lot of this is probably due to some kind of emotional trauma that they don't want to process. But I'm not excusing it because of that, because that's the thing. It's all up to us to do our shadow work. And even if we have trauma, we don't have to take it out on others the way this person is doing, where they're I feel like deliberately seeking out people to be rude, cruel to prop up their failing relationship. It feels like they just need a scapegoat to keep their little identity going, and they're fine with that. They don't care about the effect it has on others. They don't care about fucking anyone else up. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess this is, I try not to curse in these readings, but yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to curse that much. But the point is, they don't care about messing with anyone else. They just want it to be, you know, them able to continue on this vibe. And they're only thinking of themselves and their own survival. And it's funny because I feel like they keep talking about this relationship they're in and trying to keep this relationship going, or possibly relationships. Like, it could even be you have a coworker that's teaming up with other coworkers, or trying to get your boss to dislike you. But it just feels like there's some kind of relationship they keep clinging to, some kind of relationship that is just so, they're basing so much of their self-identity on that. And the funny thing about it is they're actually not getting anything emotionally from this relationship. Just like this cactus, you might pour a gallon of water on top of a cactus, but I'm pretty sure, now I'm not an expert on cactuses, but I'm pretty sure the cactus isn't even going to absorb it, right? Or you might try to touch that cactus, or you might try to, you know, get close to the cactus, and you can't. There's going to be that layer of protection around it. And that's this person. They're so thorny and prickly, and they're just trying to keep this relationship going, but it's not actually an emotional exchange. And that's probably why their partner, or whoever they're with, is so desperately thirsty for others. And they can kind of sense this vibe that their partner is genuinely kind of unhappy and unsatisfied and looking for help from others, because they are not capable of giving them that kind of emotional support. Whereas you are, pile one, you guys are the Queen of Cups. You're very giving and loving, and you guys are kind of a healer energy. And so their partner probably senses that intuitively, and like was looking at you too long, or was drawn to you in some way, and it irritated this person on such a deep level. Or whoever this is, whether it's a coworker, whether it's whatever, they are afraid of the power and potency and the emotional openness you guys have to heal and to give to others. And it really, really just gets under their skin that they will never be able to compare, as much as they place all their value in this relationship, that it's hanging on by a thread. And someone like you, if you so chose to, if you chose violence and decided to come in and, you know, really wreak havoc, you probably could steal their partner away, or, you know, get the attention away. Like, you guys are really good at that. You guys aren't even trying. You're just naturally, I feel like, someone who, is that way. You're just naturally someone who kind of has people come to you, and has people just know that you are someone they could turn to, or you are a healer. So let's get some of these cards as well. We want to know what is going to karmically happen for pile number one's person. Anxiety, door to personal healing and happiness. Yeah, they're so deceitful. They're so deceitful. I feel like a door to personal healing and happiness, at some point, this may turn into a healing journey for them, where if they are finally able to do this shadow work, the fact that this relationship ends and it's such a loss to them might actually make them finally work on themselves and do the shadow work that they really need to do, and make them fix themselves. Or they could just mire away in this kind of stagnant, stuck energy of repeating this pattern, which is what I would expect with this person. I would expect them to just continue cleaving on to people, desperately grabbing onto someone as long as they can, until the person is eventually like, no, I'm not dealing with you anymore, you're crazy, and just leaves them behind and just is like, I'm done with you, you know. And I feel like that's just this re-trauma for this person. They know deep down that they're dysfunctional, but they refuse to fix and change it. So it's gonna come through with their relationships, is what I'm getting. It's gonna come through with these relationships that they're just trying to make work so bad, eventually not working. And they might play the victim when that happens and say like, oh, everyone always leaves me, or even pile one stole my man, or something like that. They might try to blame you somehow. But I feel like a lot of it is, you know, the karma of relationships. Like I was saying, the 7th house, it might be very highlighted in their chart. They might even have something like Pluto there, or Saturn, or Mars. But I feel like it's going to be something where they get left. I wouldn't be surprised if Saturn's there. I wouldn't be surprised if the South Node is there. And it's like they're going to have to just repeatedly visit this trauma or the North Node with some hard aspects or Chiron. But I just wouldn't be surprised if their relationship sector is something that is just going to really mess with them over and over. And they're going to have to feel not good enough, because that's what it conjures up in them, is this feeling of not good enough. And I feel like they see you as being eminently good enough, pile one, because you guys, to me, you feel like you are thriving. You are doing so good. Like, you're independent, but I feel like you guys can attract whoever you want to. And so, yeah, I feel like they just can't handle it. Let me get some cards for pile one as well. This is the Bow Life deck by Vanessa Sumayina. Emotional baggage. Yes, they have a lot of emotional baggage they need to address. I think it's for them, instead of actually having to want to address this emotional baggage, they're just like, you know what? Let me just, like I said, create these little unpleasant events and these little mini fights and these little like random traumas for other people, because I feel like it's just easier for them to do that. So again, I really want you guys to know that this really wasn't about you. If it hadn't been you, it would have been someone else. This is their MO, to start fights, to like create chaos, to create trauma for people, drama and trauma for everyone else, and just to do it on purpose, just to take their attention off the moment. Like, I'm sure we've all been in mindsets, right, where like maybe you're really stressed or upset about something, and maybe your friends text you when they're like, hey, do you want to go out and drink, or do you want to go to this club? And you're like, yes, and you can't wait to get in there and take shots, or you don't even care if something crazy happens, if you get like into a fight at the club or something wild happens, because you just want to take your mind off what you're feeling, right? It's the same reason everyone does things like, not to get down this rabbit hole, but you know, things like have an unhealthy relationship to food where they eat too much, or you know, get any kind of addiction whatsoever. It's to take your mind off of whatever you're feeling in the moment. And I feel like this person does it by starting fights with random strangers or people in their life, fixating on others, blaming others, creating chaos. It's giving narcissist vibes. And I feel like this is just a big pattern for them. So just don't think that like it's anything you did. Just know that this is their pattern. This is their pattern, is to find someone they can fight with, fight and blame, and just get into it with. That's what they do. So it's not you, it's nothing you did. This is just their coping mechanism, really, for dealing with this trauma. Because let's be honest, it's a lot easier to get into a fight with a random cashier and argue with them than it would be to go back and heal childhood trauma or something like that, deep-seated trauma, right? We all know it's way easier to just blow past that and pretend like it's not happening. So I feel like that's what this person does. They just try to find more fights with others. But you know, this is their thing that they should have dealt with. Honestly, they're probably making their own trauma worse by not dealing with it, but they refuse to do the work, and it's easier to blame others. And so that's what they do. Let's get more cards for pile one about, you know, this person. What kind of karma are they going to be getting, Spirit? Oh, okay, this one flew out. Know your worth. And that's the thing. I think they know your worth. I think they know how much you guys are admired by others. You seem to me like you have this. Look at this lady. This is why I like this deck. So pretty, and she just looks like a star. And I feel like that's the thing with you guys, is you give off a beautiful energy. You give off a star successful energy. You give off a forward projector. Wait, what? Sorry, just combined two words. Forward trajectory, projection of success, and just this image that you guys might not be there yet, but you are going to have so much success, power, abundance, and they know it and they can't stand it. And it really irritates their spirit. It really irritates their spirit that you guys are, I feel like, on such a positive tip, heading somewhere very positive. You know, you might also have a banging body, because I feel like that's coming through in these cards as well. We got in touch with your body, showing someone eating some really healthy food. And you know what's coming up is like those random girls at my at my office that time that I told you guys that story about how they were always hating on me for eating salads. So crazy. But you know, I feel like that was probably jealousy, and that's the same vibe and coming through as well. Insecurity, because I don't think I ever told you guys. Maybe I never mentioned this Like, there were so many parts of that saga because my guides are petty and they made me find out like all the tea about all of it. But anyway, one thing I will tell you guys about that salad story, those two salad girls that I know a lot of you guys were interested in, and it's so funny how much that resonated. If you haven't heard the story, I basically worked with these two girls and they would always team up kind of and be like, they were in a clique, and they were always making fun of me for bringing salads into work. And so they would also, I don't think I mentioned this, but they would do things as well, like bring in like ham biscuits for breakfast and then be like, oh my god, you're not going to eat a ham biscuit, you're not going to eat this. And I'd be like, no, I'm gluten-free, I told you guys. You know that, like, you bring in a gluten-free biscuit, but I'm not eating that. And anyway, I would have my salads and they would make such a big deal every day about me eating salads. It was so crazy. It was so bizarre. But that's my point, is people fixate on the tiniest things when they don't like you. But the funny thing about that is I just thought they randomly didn't like me and they were bonding and they were both maybe from the South. So they liked biscuits. And this is why they were like obsessed with getting me to eat a biscuit, and just had this weird antagonistic judgmental vibe towards me about what I would eat, even though it was totally normal. But my point is that after that, my boss randomly asked me to go through all the emails and to sort through them and to take out his old emails, because he was super unorganized and kind of chaotic. So he was always had his papers in a mess and also his emails. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do this because honestly, I'm not super organized either. But I went through his emails and lo and behold, what did I find? A long ranting email about me from that girl, from one of the girls who had been like the most like over the top about, you know, policing what I ate. And she had written this long email about how I don't deserve, everyone in the office thinks Briar is smart, but she's really not so smart, and she doesn't deserve to have gotten this position, and she doesn't deserve to have gotten this role in the office, and other people should be given a chance, and all this crazy stuff. And this was written after she was fired. So maybe like a week or two later. So she was still that bitter after a week or two later that she finally just let it all out and sent this crazy email. And of course, my guides, like I said, being petty, showed me it. But my point about that is that at the time I was so baffled. I was like, why is this person fixating on when I'm not eating salads, other stuff? It was like just the pettiest stuff. It was like they didn't really have a real grievance, so they would just focus on the tiniest things. And that's the funny thing, is later when I got the email, it finally started making sense to me. Oh, okay, it's just insecurity. It was insecurity because they didn't like the fact that they weren't given the same position as me. They perceived me as being perceived as smarter than them, or whatever the case. So it triggered up this well of emotion that they projected out based on the stupid salad thing. You know what I mean? And that's my point, is sometimes when someone's hating on you over nothing and you're just like, what? Why is this? Like, what? Why are you even bothering about this? It's because you're triggering something inside of them that's like a deep well of hurt, deep well of insecurity that you don't even really realize. And for a lot of you guys, I feel like you've done this with this person. Like, you have triggered up something inside of them that just needs a lot of healing. And honestly, I think it's because of insecurity. Some of you guys are quite physically attractive. You might have a banging body and you just look gorgeous. You just have a stunning appearance. And a lot of it is that insecurity. And I could go on and on because the salads, like I said, it was like a saga, and my guides did so much with it. I found out so much information. It was so crazy. And not trying to seek it out. Like, I didn't volunteer to go through that man's emails. I was like, why am I even being asked to go through emails? Like, this is, but I was given a lot of roles, I guess, like that were kind of like, I was like, isn't that like privileged information? So maybe that's why they were mad. But that's the thing. My guides are like, we're turning over every rock. You're getting to see everything that's happening. And it really taught me a lot about human nature. So I feel like that's with you guys, is because they see you as better than them. They see you as, she shouldn't get that. She doesn't deserve this. Well, I don't think it's fair. And it's just insecurity, jealousy, whatever. And honestly, it's a compliment. You should take it as a compliment. I know it's hard when you're going through it. Trust me, I know, I have been there. But the thing is, it is a compliment, because actually it's proof of your own power. It's proof that they see you as a threat. It's proof that they wish they could be in your position. So pile one, you guys should really, I know it stinks, but take it as like confirmation of how truly powerful you are, that you are on this right path, and that people really see your potential. So I really hope it resonated, guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I would love to hear from you what this situation is. You know, you don't have to tell me everything, but give me the gist of what's going on in this situation, because I feel like, yeah, I think you guys have some really interesting stories with this. These people seem super chaotic, so I'm sure the stories are pretty juicy. So definitely let me know. Give me a little glimpse into it, and make sure to hit the like button. Give it a thumbs up if it did resonate, you guys. And make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. All you have to do is hit the bell. And if you guys would like to find out more, then head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what people are gossiping about you and what you should do about it. So for you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this person is using a lot of gossip. It definitely seems really relevant to you in particular. So I would highly recommend checking that out. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in my description and in the comments as well. And when you sign up for my Patreon, you get access to all my readings. So over about 45 readings where they are about life, love, spirituality, and so many different topics. So you get access to all of them as soon as you sign up, and new posts go up all the time. But thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I do private readings. So if you'd like to get one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me. You get my undivided attention for me to answer whatever question you would like to have me answer through tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship. You get to kind of decide, or all four. But anyways, I would love to do a reading for you. And like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, to get one of those. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light. Pile one, you guys are amazing. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey pile 2, so if you guys picked this pomegranate, this is going to be your reading. I love the little hair on top as well as the crown shape of the stem. And then all the shading and coloring on it is so accurate. It seriously looks like a real pomegranate. So anyways, guys, let's get into your cards though and talk about the tarot. So we got the Knight of Cups, Judgment, the Death card, the Tower, Ten of Cups, the Lovers, the Star, and the Strength card. So the first thing that's sticking out is how much major arcana action we have here, and we only have two minor arcana cards, the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So it's safe to say you guys have a very powerful energy, and specifically the astrology here is Pluto, Scorpio, Mars, and then we have Gemini, Aquarius, and Leo. So honestly, you guys are giving off powerhouse vibes. I'm hearing game changer. I feel like there's something about you guys that is kind of a renegade. You're doing things on your own terms, and you're not necessarily listening to other people's rules. And I feel like the problem, or why people are triggered by you, is because they see this potential that you really have to like change the whole game. Pluto is talking about the energy of Pluto always alters what it touches. It never leaves it the same. It always comes in and kind of changes things on a huge level. And we see that with the Death card and the Tower card as well. And I feel like that's what you guys are doing. You're coming into some kind of a situation, be it a workplace, a family, or even an online space. And I feel like you're doing things on your own terms in a very disruptive way. You're not necessarily trying to be disruptive. With the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups, you're probably not. You're probably just like, I'm trying to be friendly. I'm trying to get along with everyone. I'm trying to just vibe. But the thing about you is there is game changer, renegade, like chain breaker energy about you guys. There might be something you guys are doing in this way that's very different from others, and they're not used to it. You're coloring outside the lines. You're not inside the box. You're outside the box, and you're doing things different and on your own terms. And I feel like you're not marching to anyone else's beat of what they expect from you. It feels like there's something very unexpected, and almost like you might have come into a scene or a situation and like suddenly all eyes were on you. You know, it might have been something where like you got introduced to a friend group, and they were like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm bringing my friend, her name is Pile 2, and she's coming, yeah, you'll like her. And then they were like, okay, cool, so they're gonna be kind of like everyone else. And then you show up, and maybe because of your presence or the things you talk about or the way you dress or just your energy, but there's something kind of disruptive and cool and special and different, and they can't get you out of their mind. They can't get you out of their head. And maybe it's even like they don't think you're that special, but everyone around you did, or everyone noticed you, or when you left, everyone was talking talking about like, wow, that was pile two? No, they were like really cool. What is pile two doing? Like, do they have a boyfriend? And people inquiring about you, people wanting to know, and you getting a lot more attention than these other people. And they might be feeling crusty and dusty because compared to you, they're not getting that same level of attention that you guys get effortlessly. We did get the star card for you. And the interesting thing is the star card is also ruled by Aquarius in astrology. So it's all about being different. Aquarius is that energy that isn't going to do what anyone else says. They literally like to be a rebel. They like to hear like, oh, that's really weird. They love that. That's a compliment to an Aquarius. They're like, sweet, I want to be weird. I want to be different. And so that's the thing I feel like for a lot of you guys is, you know, you're not necessarily just trying to fit in and do what everyone else wants from you and like desperate to get everyone else's acclaim. I feel like you guys are just doing things on your own terms, but it tends to be successful and it tends to attract attention effortlessly. Like you're not having to try, you're not having to, you know, do what someone else wants for you. You're just putting something out there. And for some of you guys, it might be something creative in nature, or you might come off a little creative because we got so much cup energy. We got the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So you guys might be trying to pursue a creative project, or maybe you posted something that you think is kind of interesting, like you posted a TikTok that's kind of funny and charming and lighthearted, but for some reason you got a bunch of nasty comments. Or maybe you're even doing something with psychic work, like maybe you guys are just a psychic person, maybe you're into tarot yourself, or you're into astrology or something, and you're putting something out there, or you're trying to talk about something that has to do with astrology, and you get like a bunch of blowback from your family or something like that. But there's something about you guys that I feel like you're not trying to do this, but you're disrupted by your very nature. Because with the Tower card coming out after the Death card and the Judgment card, I feel like there's something about you that alters, like you're changing the scene, because that's really what those cards are about, is like a permanent change, something that needs to be disrupted, getting completely disrupted in your life. And I feel like you guys have had that effect on things and effort on things. You might have been that person that like got hired at a workplace and you know, they were kind of rude to you or didn't appreciate you, but you made a bunch of random comments about like, yeah, well, you know, I think in the cafeteria we should have more green vegetables or something, I don't know. Or I think we should really repaint the women's bathroom. It's kind of like dark and kind of old looking in there, and they should probably just change the decor up. And even though you don't get that respect and no one tells you that, they go and make those changes. Or there's things you point out where you're like, your very presence is kind of altering of things. I noticed this with a lot of Scorpio and Plutonic people, is they tend to like alter things very deeply. They might not even be trying, but they just press those buttons, and they're part of their life's mission is to disrupt, is to come in and kind of take out the old stagnant energy and replace it and blow the doors out and make people realize that they need to bring in something new. And I feel like that's something you guys have done with whatever you're doing. There's something fresh and vivid and super unexpected about you guys, something that I feel like people just didn't see you coming. There might have even been a lot of people who dismissed you or thought like, oh, pile two, yeah, they're not, I mean, they're just like, whatever, they're not a big deal, you know, they're just another person. They're not that special or smart or anything like that. And then they're shocked because I feel like everyone else reacts to you being like, oh, I love pile two, or like, wow, what pile two is doing is awesome, or I'm so excited about everything pile two said. Like, there's something about you guys that I feel like you attract kind of like hate, but also love at the same time. And there's a lot of jealousy with that, because someone else might even be trying to be the center of attention, but no one even like notices them or turns their head, you know, whereas I feel like you can get attention and you're not even looking for it. You're not even trying to get that kind of eyes on you, but it just happens. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you're kind of minding your business, putting stuff out there, and you're wondering, why am I getting negative stuff back? Why is someone saying anything negative to me? Why would anyone be angry at me? I'm just minding my business. But I feel like there's also something very charming about your energy and your personality that people kind of couldn't compare with. Like, honestly, I feel like a lot of you guys, like I keep hearing breath of fresh air. There's something kind of spontaneous, kind of new, kind of open. You know, the Knight of Cups is such an ultimate charmer. I would say the ultimate charmer in the zodiac is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups just knows maybe the Knight of Wands as well, but I'm honestly definitely going to give it to the Knight of Cups, no question. Because I feel like the Knight of Cups comes in, they know what to say, they're that charmer. They would be the person that would sweep you off your feet and probably say romantic stuff, and you just love their energy. And honestly, that's a vibe as well. But think about that person. Think about like that archetype in like movies and stuff. Usually it's a guy that ends up getting vilified, right? Because it's like, oh, well, you charmed all these girls, but you didn't want anything serious with them, which I agree, it's really bad to do that if you're misleading people as to your intentions. Sometimes someone can't help it. You know, sometimes there's a girl that just all the guys fall in love with, or a guy that all the girls fall in love with, and they're not even trying. They're not even going out of their way to get that attention. They just naturally have that presence and that energy. And the thing is, everyone wants a piece of it. Everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone would dream about having that person as a partner. And then they get angry and mad when they don't have access to that person. And I almost feel like some of that negativity you guys have gotten is that people are mad and angry at you because what you're doing is charming to so many, and they want it to a bigger part of it. They want to be a bigger part of your life. They want your attention. Just your attention means a lot to them. A big part of their karma is going to have to be watching you guys do super well, succeed, and just have this incredible continued success. Because I feel like there's something about you guys that's very unbothered. You're not letting it even get to you. You're not letting it get under your skin. You're not letting it like get inside your head. I feel like you just like laugh it off, or you just brush it off, or you just kind of like keep moving, just keep going. And honestly, I feel like you're just going to build and build and build with this. You're just going to get better and better and better. Even if you took a temporary L with something like this, because we do have the tower, it's like you'd bounce right back from it and come back stronger. Like even if this was a job or a workplace and then you got fired, like your next job would be the better job, and you'd be like, hell yeah, I got a promotion and I got a raise, and I get like a free lunch, and it's like super nice, and they have like a open cafeteria and I can eat anything I want, or something like that. Like you would just have a job that you loved, and everything would be like dream life, moving from strength to strength. And I feel like a lot of people are probably jealous of that. They probably think that you're effortless, that you go through things and you're not even trying. You're not even having to like break a sweat. And I feel like this resentment, this insecurity they have towards you, it's just going to keep building and building and building and building, and they're going to get madder and madder and madder because you guys are going to succeed and do so well. We also have the Judgment card coming in, and that is a karmic card for sure. I mean, there's a lot of heavy karmic cards here, not going to lie, but especially with the Judgment card, I do feel like there is a lesson to you guys that like God, Spirit sees everything. Spirit knows what's going on. And there is that karmic abacus always in the sky, so to speak, being, constantly realigned and added up and everything. And I feel like for you guys, don't be afraid to think, oh, well, this person's getting away with it, because they're definitely not. They are going to get karma for it. But a big part of their karma sometimes is just having to sit back, relax, and watch as you guys keep doing what you're doing and just get stronger and stronger and better and better, and this person just wasting away in their irrelevance. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of it is that jealousy, and that's like the worst punishment for this person, is just to see you having this 10 of Cups life, happiness and joy. There's also, I didn't mention it, well, I talked a little bit about it, but there's this vibe of you guys being very attractive, or giving off a vibe of like being very in demand romantically. A lot of people think you would just make a great partner and just would assume like, oh, this person has so many partners, this person has so much attention coming at them. We have this Leo energy as well as the Star card. So a lot of people just assume that you're always, I feel like it's like you're, the perfect girl. Like I'm hearing that from the Brady Bunch when Jan says Marsha, 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 and she's just so jealous of her sister for getting all the attention. And I feel like that's a big part of this. People are just jealous that so many people have you on their mind, and their karma is going to have to be sitting there, staying mired in their own energy, being a hater, getting madder and madder, because again, I feel like you're really not letting it bother you. But let's get some more tarot for this. What's going to be Pile One's karma for? You might even have to go through an identity crisis, because I do feel like another thing with this, yeah, you guys are just going to keep building, keep working, keep thriving. But I do feel like a big thing with this also is that they might lose public face based on the hate they give to you. So the fact that they continue to hate on you, you know how sometimes like maybe someone at first is like, oh, I don't like this person, and they tell you about it, and you're like, oh yeah, like, oh, I can kind of see that or whatever, and you're not really taking too much stock into it, but you're like, okay, yeah, like I understand what you're saying. But maybe that person keeps coming to you about it over and over and over, and they keep mentioning how much they dislike Sarah or whatever, and you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. But it's getting a little weird, and you just kind of give it a pass, and then, they keep saying that, and then it gets weirder, and then it builds up to a point where you're like, oh my God, this person's obsessed with Sarah. This is really strange. And you start totally flipping. Whereas in the past, maybe you were like, yeah, with Sarah, yeah, now that you mention it, it is kind of annoying when she does this. But suddenly, not only are you not seeing that part of her, but you're like, oh my God, poor Sarah, that she has to deal with this crazy deranged person who's such a hater. And then you start thinking really bad thoughts about the person who told you that. And you start thinking they really are crazy. Like, they're obsessed with Sarah. They literally will not talk about anything else. And so I feel like this person is going to have to suffer some kind of like major transformation, or even like a identity crisis, because they keep fixating on you. And they're going to have to deal with the fact that everyone else, I feel like, looks at them and gives them the side eye and kind of is like, okay, like, what are you talking about? And also, this person wishes they could get, like, I keep mentioning it, but they really wish they could get the attention you get. So honestly, I feel like this is a flex. It's almost like the more you ignore them, the angrier and angrier they're getting. I'm seeing a tea kettle starting to boil over. So I feel like that's a big part of their karma, is just having to watch from the side as you do well. But let's talk more about what kind of karma is a pile one's person going to get. 8 of Cups, King of Wands, yep, and let's get 8 of Wands. Yeah, there's gonna be some, like, I feel like big leveling up moment for some of you guys, where you do really, really well, or you have some kind of promotion, or you have some kind of public recognition of some kind, and this person is just going to have to watch and have to see as you thrive, as you guys do so well. There might also be an energy of you attracting some kind of like powerful person's attention. It could definitely be romantic. It could be that some romantic person comes into your life, role comes into your life, person who is into you in a romantic way, who happens to be quite powerful or attractive, and that these people are going to have to watch. Like, they're going to have to see as you're like, oh my God, my boyfriend, he's amazing. Do you want to meet him? And you bring him in and he's like super hot and everyone is mad about it, you know what I mean? Or he's, and he treats me so well and he's so sweet, and they're like, oh, I wish I could date someone like that. There's this thing where I feel like a lot of people are irritated by your light, pile 2. A lot of people are getting mad because you're shining so bright and because you guys have this power and this potential. It feels like it's just untouched potential. It's just like this little ball that's ready to explode. It hasn't exploded yet, but it is so ready to burst off and to fully like come to fruition. And I feel like there's also an energy where at a certain point you might leave them behind and you might just be like, I'm done, and like never show up again. You might like randomly quit your job, but you never come in again. You never actually come in and like do the hugs and the goodbyes. You just like phone in like, oh, I'm not showing up. I quit immediately as effective of now. And I feel like in a way, these people might, miss you deep down, because in a way I feel like some of them copy from you and wish they could be you, wish they could emulate you. It's giving that movie Single White Female, where the lady's looking for a roommate and then she finds the roommate and the roommate becomes obsessed with her and tries to copy her and starts trying to steal her boyfriend and wear her clothes and gets her haircut and all this stuff. It's giving that, but like hates her at the same time as she's copying from her because she knows she can never be here and she's so jealous. That's the vibe. Like, I feel like these people wish they could be in your role. If they could snap their fingers and suddenly be in your position, they would in a millisecond. So that's a big part of the irritation for them, is just, wow, pile 2 is doing so good and I wish I could have that. Let's get into some more cards. So we got Opportunity, Garden of Venus, Deep Diver, Lost Compass, and Gathering Around. So, or Caterpillar Opportunity, I guess that should say. But yeah, I feel like, first of all, very attractive as usual. That is coming through once again for you guys, is that you are very attractive. and charming and all of that. But I also feel like there's something you're doing with this where you're kind of transmuting whatever this energy is. You're in this situation, but you're not doing what everyone else is doing. You're not following the crowd. Maybe there was this expectation that you would follow what everyone else is doing. Like, it's like you got hired to work at a job and technically you're allowed to do your own thing, but like, well, Janet, didn't you know that everyone has a long coffee break with each other on Fridays and we all, meet up at 11 a.m. and then we walk to Starbucks and then we walk back together, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I don't drink coffee. I don't want to do that. Like, no thanks. And you're not even doing anything mean by it, but these people just, they're so sensitive and they see you as better than them. So they might even take that as like, okay, so pile 2 thinks they're better. Oh, so pile 2 thinks they have special rules and thinks the rules don't apply to them. And you're like, no, I just don't follow rules in general. You don't have to follow the rules either. You don't have to go to Starbucks and get coffee every Friday, and if you don't want to, but you're choosing to do that. You know what I mean? But there's something about you where I feel like what you're doing, they had this very strong expectation. They're very rigid, some of these people. They're very rooted into their own beliefs or into their own ideas of what should happen. And they can't handle any deviation from that. They can't handle if someone like wears blue when they said they were going to be wearing like periwinkle. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like you're doing anything that crazy, but I feel like these people are so rigid. And honestly, this is a mental issue for them. This is something that's going to come up again and again and again and again in their life. They're going to have to deal with constantly having this vibe of like, well, I thought this. We all have seen those people that just can't seem to like change or move with the times. Like, sometimes, when you see someone who just looks like they're unable to kind of function in modern society for some reason. Like, maybe they just dress in a way that is so out of date, or maybe they kind of can't learn technology, or they have this very rigid idea of like gender roles from like 70 years ago, you know what I mean? And they're just not really able to like get on track with like the modern era. And I feel like some of that is what these people are. It's like they're unable to switch their ideas of what should have happened and just understand that like, oh, pile 2 is doing it a little different. Okay, yep, pile 2 is doing things their own way, because they're so tied into it should look like this. It should look like that. I deserve this. And I'm literally emotionally disturbed because someone's doing something a little bit different. It's a little crazy, honestly. And I feel like they can't understand that you guys have a lot of support and that people really like you. This jealousy about how others perceive you is a big, big part of this. They really feel like you guys are getting a lot of attention from others that they deserve and they would like to be on the receiving side of. And they can't stand the fact that other people, I feel like, are just drawn to you guys. Pile 1, like you guys are like a bright light, and I'm seeing, what is it, fireflies, or I'm seeing moths gather around a outdoor lamp or something, like moth to a flame. I feel like so many people are that way with you. They just see you, they really like you. And that's the thing, you don't have to march to their beat of their drum. You don't have to make yourself smaller to fit in. You can do things your own way and still thrive and still do well and still get all the best things. You don't have to like switch yourself over and do things their way. Actually, you're going to get your success and your abundance from doing things on your own. That's why the Star card is ruled by Aquarius, which is the energy of being that renegade who does things that no one else really understands, or that other people might throw judgment on, or other people might not even understand what Aquarius is doing. And Aquarius loves that. Aquarius loves to be called weird, or like, what is that? Huh? I never saw that before. They love that moment for themselves. So it's no coincidence that a very positive tarot card that talks about success in many ways is also related to doing things different, because you don't really get your success by sticking into the crowd. The Star card, obviously the star stands out, right? And you don't get to stand out unless you're doing things different. So I feel like a lot of you guys, honestly, take it as a compliment, because I almost feel like as much as these people complain about you or they're rude or nasty to you, it's like they should just start a fan club. It's like, you're not a fan or you're not a hater, you are a fan, because this person is paying so much attention to you guys. And the sad thing for them is you're not going anywhere. You're going to keep doing super good. Let's get some more cards for pile 2 and figure out what kind of karma their person is going to get. So we got yin yang, woman holding a heart, healer of the ages, and walking away. Yeah, at a certain point, I feel like you're just going to be done and like remove your energy. I love this. We got woman holding a heart and then woman holding a coin. So like I was saying, a big part of their karma is actually going to be your success. You guys just doing so well, thriving, and them having to sit on the sidelines and watch it all go down, and maybe being removed from your energy at a certain point. Maybe it's like, in the past you would have still been nice to them or something, but now you're like not returning their calls, or they don't have access to you, and maybe they thought they could kind of hate from the side and still have access to you. They could be like that judgmental coworker that would be like, oh, you're dating again? Wow, but I thought you were already on dates last week. You have a new date? And they always thought, though, you were going to still keep telling them about like, yeah, so my dating life is this. And now you're just not telling them anything, or you're not even working with them and you refuse to like respond to their DMs on Instagram or something. You're just like, yeah, I'm basically done with you. So I feel like a lot of it is this, I want more access to pile 2 and I can't get at a certain point. Pile 2 is like on to bigger and better things. And I used to be able to hate from the side but still stay around them, and now they're just cutting things off with a quickness, very harshly. So let's get more cards. This is from the Boat Life deck by Vanessa Sumaina. Let me see what this says. Beauty sleep. I'm saying a big part of this is you guys being just very attractive, physically attractive. You guys look gorgeous, and I feel like a lot of people really are bothered. Also, another thing about you that I'm hearing that upsets people is that you are unbothered. You never let it really get under your skin. I feel like you continue just doing whatever you were doing. They kept trying to like ruffle your feathers, get you upset, make you mad. And it's, you know what it's bringing to my mind? I was actually it was the funniest thing. I was checking reviews for some place, like some restaurant or something, the other day, and this person left an absolutely scathing review. And of course, I could see that the person, the store or company had responded. So I scroll down to see like, what is the company saying back, the restaurant saying back, and they just are like, oh wow, our hearts are absolutely touched by this review. Thank you so much. We are so thrilled to know that we brought you so much pleasure and joy, and truly customers like you mean the world to us. And I honestly started laughing out loud because it was just so funny to see the contrast between the review, which was like scathing, and it was like, this is the worst place ever. I am disgusted. And it was like all these petty complaints, you know, honestly, like it didn't sound like anything legitimate. Like when I had ordered my salad with ranch, they brought out Italian instead, and then they said they made a mistake. What kind of place makes a mistake about the dressing? Like, it's kind of a stupid, in my opinion, complaints, you know. But I think whoever was running like the social media, I think this was just their automated response, because they left a very similar response to anyone, but they were like, we appreciate you so much. And honestly, this review just makes us so happy. And I was laughing because I was like, oh my God, I bet it made this person enraged to get this response back. And they're just so happy. And they were obviously trying to like blast the company. And I thought, though, isn't that like such a powerful thing, though? Like someone tries to direct hate to us and we just stay happy. Someone tries to get under our skin and we just stay happy. Someone's trying to like really fire off some nasty thing and saying all this stuff, and we just couldn't care less, and we just transmute it into joy and positivity. And I feel like that's what you guys are doing. You're just like you're not letting it bother you. You just keep thriving, keep doing so well. We got the 1090 ratio. So yeah, I feel like it's like this person really can't compete on your level. Sorry guys, I had to remove one of the cards just because sometimes I love the images, but they can be, you know, a little like not risque, but you know, sometimes it's like a girl in a bikini or something, which is totally cool, but I just am not wanting to run amok of the YouTube algorithm, so I'm just gonna keep it all the like very covered up energies, although they are super beautiful and nothing's like really bad. You just have to be careful with the algorithm here. But okay, so with Boss Up, and then we had gotten also the Best of You, and let me try to find the other card. But my point is that again, it's that same energy of you guys exuding this boss energy, you guys exuding this beautiful vibe of someone who is going to have so much success and so much power power in this. And honestly, I feel like you are getting so much attention already, and people know that about you. People can see that you guys are on this trajectory if you're not already there yourself. And honestly, a lot of it is the attention you guys are getting. It feels like you're getting more attention than these people feel like they're getting, and it's just straight up jealousy. It's just straight up wishing they could be in your position and not understanding why you get this, you know, clout or attention or heat on your name and they don't, and wishing they could do what you do and wishing they had your little magic recipe that they don't have. So that's a big part of this, is just straight up, I wish I could be pile 2. And of course, their karma is going to be, they don't get to be you. And they're going to have to deal with their own feelings of inadequacy and their own feelings of not being good enough day in, day out. And that's going to like weigh on them over time. They're going to have to probably find multiple people to hate on, because there's always going to be someone that's going to trigger this feeling of like, I'm not good enough. Whether it's you, whether it's a random celebrity, whether it's literally anyone, they need to work on their own interior, you know, mentality, and also understand that you thriving and doing well doesn't take anything away from them, but they probably can't level up to you, so they probably know that, and that's why they're choosing this resentment and anger and haterade over being a nice person. But pile 2, I wouldn't even let it get to you. You guys are going to be so successful, and I feel like you've already disrupted things very strongly with them, and that's kind of your job. Like, there's something disruptive about your energy, I also feel, because we got so much Pluto. There's something about you that just marches to the beat of your own drum and leaves things very different when you leave than when you arrived. So like, if you come into a job or a workplace, like I was saying, you might get the boss to suddenly make big changes, whether they know consciously it's because of you or not. There's something about your presence that kind of transmutes it and kind of calls out the things that need to be switched and changed. That's one of the jobs of Scorpio Pluto people, is to like see all the flaws and make it, be the one to point it out with their water sign psychic ability. But they're not going to like downplay it or just go along to be nice like a Pisces or a Cancer will. They're going to call it out and be like, that needs to be changed. You have trauma here. That needs to be switched. That's so Scorpionic. And I feel like that's you guys. Even if you're not trying to do it, there's something about your presence and how well you do, and your, whatever this is that you're putting out there or whatever position you're in, that really highlights all the things that need to be changed, because it's a contrast with your thriving and how well you guys are doing. So I really hope that resonated, pile 2. Let me know if it did in the comments. Let me know if you think these people are hating because of this jealousy towards you and you guys getting more attention naturally, or you guys causing them to make permanent changes in their and having this kind of plutonic, changeable, mutating energy that you guys have. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And make sure to give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, hit the bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about what the gossip is about you and what you should do about it. So you guys definitely might want to check that out, since I do think these people are probably trying to whisper behind your back, like I was saying earlier, and change other people's opinions on you. So we talk about what they're saying and also how you should handle all of it. And when you sign up, you get access to all my readings. So there's readings about life, love, spirituality, all different kinds of topics. I also just posted one all about what your person is fantasizing about you. So that is an 18+, very juicy one. But there is a lot of readings for you guys to choose from and to see over at my Patreon. So many different topics, and new ones go up all the time. So if you would like to join and get access to all those readings, then head on over to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join us over at Patreon. And if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half-hour or a full-hour session with me and have me do astrology, tarot, channeling, mediumship for you, or all of the above worked into one reading. You can get a year ahead reading or ask me whatever questions you'd like. So I would love to do a reading for you, and head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, to get that. Link is in my description for that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye. Hey pile three, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this soursop or custard apple fruit, this is going to be your reading. You can see they have a really realistic leaf on the side and the stem, and the skin is super realistic. It looks really, really good. But anyways, guys, let's get into your cards. So you guys got the Wheel of Fortune reversed, Four of Pentacles reversed, Queen of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Page of Pentacles reversed, and the 7 of Cups reversed. So the first thing coming through is this person's energy, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, to me they feel pretty unpleasant. Like, I feel like this person is just kind of a nasty person in general, and maybe someone who tends to take a very pessimistic or negative view of most things. Like, it almost feels like they are just perpetually in a bad mood and just looking to be upset or angry about things, looking to kind of pick things apart. Like, I feel like they would just be the person who would have a lot of complaints and would always find fault, would always find a reason to be mad or annoyed or something you did wrong. And it almost feels like they like to nitpick and just take apart anything you're trying to do. They might really enjoy tamping down on your enthusiasm. Like, they might be the kind of person where if you're excited for something, anything in particular, they might love breaking that down. Like, if you're like, oh, I can't wait to go on this vacation, or even, oh, I'm so excited to eat this sandwich, they might be like, oh, that vacation, I heard there's a lot of problems. I heard there's a lot of bugs in that place. You're probably going to get eaten alive. You might get a serious illness from one of the mosquitoes, or, you know, if you're excited for the sandwich, oh, that doesn't look that good. And, you know, I don't know, I thought you were not going to eat so many carbs, or like, I feel like this is that kind of person's mentality. They're always looking for finding fault. They're always looking for things negative. They might even do a good job of hiding it at first, but it's almost like it's always creeping. It's always wanting to come out. It's always there for them, looking for the negative side, looking to say something mean. They honestly remind me of someone who, Spirit just showed me the funniest image of someone going to like an amazing art gallery. Like, I'm thinking of like the Borghese gallery in Rome, and instead of actually enjoying the art, they're like looking at like the beautiful marble statues, and they're like, oh, I think I see a slight chip there, or I don't think that's a super realistic pinky toe, and so that sculpture isn't that good. You know, like it's like they could find fault in literally anything, in like Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel or whatever. They would always find something to, you know, look down on or say is bad. I feel like they probably also love correcting people. Like, if you even messed up your grammar, they would just take such delight in being like, excuse me, that word is wrong, and trying to blow it up into this huge thing. And honestly, I feel like this is born out of insecurity with this person. It feels like to me that maybe they were treated that way a lot as a child. Maybe they had people always criticizing them, and they just think that's normal, and it's almost like, let me get payback. And I feel like sometimes with you, if you're enthusiastic or happy about something, they just enjoy tamping down on that happiness. They enjoy like finding faults and finding flaws and making you doubt yourself. And I feel like that's because this person just has a lot of bitterness within themselves. We got the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and I feel like for them, maybe they consider themselves really unlucky. You know, maybe they consider themselves someone who has had a rough time in life, or like, oh, I shouldn't have had to go through that. Or they might just look at you and think, well, why does pile three have these opportunities? Or why does pile three have this life? Or wow, pile three gets all these things, and look at me, I got a raw deal. I didn't have the support, I didn't have the foundation to do those things that pile three is doing. So I feel like a lot of times the comparison, this person makes a lot of comparison and jealousy towards you, and honestly, I feel like you wouldn't even necessarily notice that, because I kind of feel like you guys might be the Queen of Cups in this reading. And it feels like you guys are just like a peaceful energy looking for a happy life, and you're trying to, you know, do things to make yourself happy, and there's just a peacefulness around you. And I feel like it's almost like this person can't stand that. That's the last thing they want for you, is to have a peaceful, beautiful life, because then you won't be as miserable as they are. And if you manage to succeed, then they can't point to all their circumstances or say, you know, it wasn't my fault, because I feel like in a way you guys can make magic out of everything. You guys are the kind of person that's genuinely optimistic, looks on the bright side, and tends to find magical things happening for them. Like maybe you're the kind of person that like you randomly get handed an extra latte from your barista because they're like, oh, by the way, we made extra and just take it, you know, or you get randomly smiled at by like a kid on the street. It just feels like you have a positive, happy vibe around you that rubs off with your energy. And so I feel like this person really resents that. And they would kind of try to find fault in that, or maybe say even, you know, oh, of course someone would give them an extra latte, they're attractive, or oh, you were probably flirting with him, or like he probably wants to get in your pants or something like that. I feel like you're just, you know, you're going through life experiencing all the good things, and the more good you experience, the angrier it makes this person. Because honestly, it feels like to me they're in such an energy of lack and feeling like they got screwed over and feeling like it's not fair and feeling like you don't really deserve this stuff, that I feel like they, instead of internalizing that and studying that and being like, well, why do I feel like I'm coming from a place of lack? Why do I think that lucky things don't happen to me? Why do I think of the world as a negative, horrible place? They'd rather just direct this anger and this resentment towards you and kind of try to bring you down to their level, try to bring you down to the negativity that they feel inside. There's also a really strong energy of this person being like, why do they have this stuff? Why did they get this? Whatever it is in your life. Maybe it's like you had, I don't know, it could be anything, any kind of advantage. Like maybe your parents paid for college and this person's parents didn't pay for college. And of course, maybe your parents didn't pay for college, but I almost feel like this person is looking for something to be mad about and looking for something to point to be like, oh, pile three had it easy, you know, or maybe you're just naturally attractive and they would try to pin all your blessings on that and say like, oh, well, they had that job handed for them. They didn't even earn it. They probably got that job because, you know, they're cute and they flirted with the boss. There's something about this person trying to find fault and trying to find ways to explain your success away, trying to find a hole they can kind of point to and like, you know, just pin everything on as like, pile three did not earn this, pile three had it easy. Something about that is really big in their mind. And I feel like some of them would really conceal this level of jealousy for you. At first, they might not have shown you that for a while. They might have acted like they honestly are on your side, or they're a good friend, or they support you, and then bring it out at the last minute. They might pretend like they're happy or pretend that they're happy and successful in their life. But I honestly feel like these people, they're sitting on the sidelines waiting to see you fail. They want to see you fail so bad because they've always seen this potential in you. They know how strong you are. They know how powerful you are. And they know that a lot of you guys are going to move mountains and do really important things, and they can't stand it. They want you to stay in your lane, stay back with them, keep yourself small so they don't have to feel like they didn't fail or they didn't succeed, like they're a failure. And honestly, some of this might have to do with relationships as well. If this person has not been in a successful relationship or had a really painful breakup, or maybe it's something like has just never been in love, I feel like they resent that you guys have a magical effect on others and people might be drawn to you romantically. They also might resent the fact if you have an energy of like a soulmate twin flame around you, whether that's entered your life yet or not. They might resent the fact that you ever have been loved that much, or that they can feel that you're going to be loved that much. But I feel like a lot of it has to do with this person feeling very alone, misunderstood, almost like I never got the chance. I never had the same chances that pile three has, and pile three had everything handed to them, and just this extremely bitter energy coming through. And what's dangerous about this person is that they might hide it at first, and they might act like they are on your side and like they do support you when they really don't. They might be smart enough to conceal it and to not show it straight up, because I feel like they would know if they were super honest and they told everyone like, yeah, that's why I really hate pile three, is because, you know, I'm jealous of them, that everyone would be like, oh my God, you're a monster. That's horrible. So instead they would conceal it. They might even try to say things like, you know, you're a bad person or you're problematic or something like that. But a lot of it is just leeching from this place of jealousy. And the karma for them is going to be watching you guys succeed and have a beautiful, happy life. We got the 10 of Cups, and I kind of think this energy is some of your energy down here. There's also the strong energy, like I mentioned, of a lot of people being attracted to you. This person doesn't feel sexually attractive. They don't feel like they can attract romantic partners in the same way you can. And that's something that really weighs on their mind and causes them a lot of anger, resentment, and hatred towards you because of that. There's some energy around you guys. I don't know if you guys have just been in really amazing relationships, or you've had a twin flame, or there has been some really amazing sex in your life or something like that. But there's some energy with you where it's almost like, oh, pile 3 knows what they're doing, or pile 3, always has these little romances, or pile 3 always gets attention romantically. And I feel like this person resents that so much. I can't emphasize that enough. Even if it's just someone that's in your energetic field as a twin flame and you're not actually like in a relationship with them or something, I feel like this person just really fixates on the romantic and sexual effect you have on others and those experiences you've had. They might even be imagining all this stuff when it comes to you. They might have this kind of fantasy life when it comes to you of just imagining all these scenarios. Let's get some more tarot for pile 3. Spirit, please give me some tarot for pile 3. What kind of karma is going to happen to pile 3's people? So we got the 9 of Cups. Okay. What kind of karma is going to happen to pile 3's people? The Sun. Wow. So again, with this same energy, you guys thriving, you guys doing super good. We got the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups and then the Sun, and they all kind of came out together. And the 2 of Cups. I can't emphasize enough. You guys are going to be doing so good, and this person is going to have to sit back and watch. I am just feeling like you guys are going from strength to strength. Like it's just getting better and better and better, and you're making your manifestations happen. And what's so funny is I feel like this person thought they were going to bring you down because of it. They really thought they were going to take you out, that, you were going to be the one crying on the sidelines, being like, oh my God, and then they could have finally felt powerful and strong themselves, but instead they're going to be the ones crying extra hard, because I feel like at a certain point you guys are going to figure this out and you're going to be totally done with them. Maybe that's already happened for a lot of you and that's why you're watching this reading, but it feels like that's a process. It almost feels like at one point you consider this person a friend or an ally, and that's why the betrayal is singing so hard for you, is because you're like, no, I trusted them. I would have done anything for this person. I really liked them. I cared for them. I opened up to them, and I can't believe, like, it's almost like they snuck in. I'm hearing sniper from the side. They were never honest with you about their intentions or about their feelings. They never were like, you know what, screw you, and told you what was on their mind. I feel like the whole time they would pretend to be an ally. They would pretend to like you. They would pretend to even love you maybe. And it's like, really, it's coming from this nasty, vindictive, hateful place. So a big part of their karma is going to be seeing you guys do so well and also continue to be the center of attention. We do have the Sun there, so that's definite center of attention energy. I mean, as we always say, I always make a joke about Leo, at least, where it's like people will say, well, you guys think the world revolves around you, and Leo being the Sun, technically the world does revolve around them. So, they're not wrong about that. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to have those eyes on you. You're going to have that energy of other people paying attention to you. You're going to have some kind of public success or acclaim, or have people just within your social circle noticing how well you do. You're going to have that validation. And I feel like this person, that is going to really drive them crazy, because they wanted to make you look bad. There's even this energy of some of them trying to make you look crazy, or trying to make you look like not mentally correct. Like, I feel like they really and this is what is bothering me about this person, is I just feel like they're so duplicitous. I feel like they really are willing to stoop so low. And the funny thing is, they would never admit it. They would always deny it and be like, me? Oh my God, I wanted to help pile 3. But really deep down, they're willing to go to any level whatsoever. They're willing to say anything, do anything to try to bring you down. Let's get more cards for pile 3. What's going to be the karma for their person, Spirit? What's going to be the karma for their person? So we got the Ace of Swords. This person might be trying to reach out to you at a certain point. And I'm feeling like with the Fool reverse coming out next, you're going to be like, nope, no new head starts with you. We're not trying that again. We're done and dusted. And it's funny because this person, I'm hearing running out of time as well when it comes to them. So they don't even realize that by hating on you so bad, they're wasting their own time. If they could take this energy and direct it towards their own life and start thinking about, I always wanted to be a marathon runner, so I'm going to start training. Or I always wanted to be a singer, so I'm going to put some of my songs on TikTok or whatever. That they would have this opportunity to make their own dreams happen instead of standing on the sidelines hating on you because they know they can never accomplish any of those things. There's still time. There's always time with spirit, but I don't think this person is ever going to see that, because I feel like with them, they're wasting and spinning their own wheels, looking at you, hoping you have some kind of a downfall. I'm hearing this person wanted to use you. This person wanted to use you while hating on you at the same time. They wanted to see you succeed on one hand so that they could have certain access to certain things. Like maybe if you were to have succeeded, they were your best friend and you would have taken them to like an awards show or a conference at your work or something that was a big deal, or you would have introduced them. Like if you had had a great relationship, you would have set them up with your new guy's best friend or something. You would have pulled them up with you. You wanted everyone to succeed. You wanted the whole team up there. But instead, I feel like this person, like on one hand, they wanted that access, but on the other hand, they couldn't help their seething and their jealousy towards you. So they did little things to undercut this, and they were never on your side. Spirit wants you to know that, in case you think something like, well, maybe I overreacted, or maybe they didn't really mean it like that. It's like, no, they were never rooting for you. They were always, 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 I feel like, kind of trying to bring you down. Let's get some of these cards as well. So we got Horned Cactus, resourcefulness. Woodwives, adaptability. Perfect storm. And I apologize if my throat sounds really stuffed up. I'm kind of sick, but anyway. Okay, so we got Horned Cactus, resourcefulness, Woodwives, perfect storm, overflow, watchers, and these are reverse, and feast of plenty, upright. So I feel like this person, yeah, it's almost like they're stuck. I'm seeing stuck in the mud, like a cab, a wagon or something that's been overturned, a carriage or a wagon that's been overturned in the mud and is just stuck and can't go any further. And I feel like that's this person. Like it's almost like they got in a rut or a way of thinking where they just kept thinking that they had to do things a certain way, or thinking that this is just how it always has to be. This is how it is. They're very rigid-minded and they're not very open. And it feels like even when they started failing in a certain arena, they refused to like give up and try something else. And they just kept pushing themselves down the same track, even though it wasn't working. So I don't know what this is. This could be like this person wasted time in a failed relationship, kept trying to save it and salvage it, even though they knew it was off. And now they resent you because you're like happy and single and living your life, or they resent you because you're in a positive relationship. Or it could be that this person, maybe financially was trying to make a job work even though it wasn't working, and they're mad at you because you seem to be on the track to making a lot of money. But there's something here where this person wasted their time and has stayed very stuck. They see the potential in you. They see the power and the potency in you. They see that you guys are growing and changing and evolving every day. And I feel like they can't stand how adaptable you guys have been. They're kind of prickly like this cactus. They stay very rooted in the ground, just like a cactus does. Even compared to other plants, like a cactus really is just very stasis. You know what I mean? Like I feel like other plants, they'll blow around in the wind. Maybe they'll die in the winter, and then they come back and they're more big in the spring and more hardy, and they grow flowers, and then their leaves turn brown. So there's a lot of change, whereas a cactus is always the same, right? It's kind of rooted in place. It's never really shifting or changing. And I feel like that's this person's downfall, and they're going to keep doing this and keep hating on the side, and it's never going to change for them. They are going to be brought to their downfall by their unwillingness to open themselves up to new possibilities the way you are. And we got perfect storm, the courage to step into life, also reversed. And I feel like this person, what it comes deep down to is fear and not feeling good enough, lack of confidence, that this person isn't willing to kind of step out on that ledge and dive in and try to make things work and try to be their most honest self. But you guys are. You in pile 3, I feel like you are. And so a big part of their karma is going to have to be watching you as you do so good, watching you as you get blessings, material blessings, and all kind of blessings raining down in your life. We got watchers, transpersonal. So again, you guys might be getting a lot of attention attention, a lot of acclaim. You might be getting an award or something like that, or just having so much success in this. And I'm hearing that line from the song, I think it's T-Pain, I think it's Good Life, that I always quote, which is, and if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up. So I feel like for you guys, it's like they're going to be sitting on the side watching as the success rolls in, watching as you do so good. And maybe even having to hear other people constantly praise you and talk about like, wow, pile 3, did you hear they did this? Pile 3, blah, blah, blah. I love pile 3. Pile 3 is awesome. It might be some kind of acclaim in public for some of you guys, but I feel like for a lot of you guys, even if it's within your social circle or your family or your workplace, but there's going to be people talking about you, mentioning your name, talking about what a success you are, talking about all the things you guys have done, and like, have you kept up? Oh wow, you used to know pile 3. Oh, you were close to pile 3. Wow, did you hear they just got this science grant? Yeah, it's like a big deal. Yeah, they blah blah blah. Or did you hear pile 3 just traveled to Bermuda and they're doing this? Like, I feel like people are just going to be talking about you guys, and this person's going to be so mad having to listen. Let's get more cards for pile 3. Oh, why is this one out? Let's get more cards for pile 3. This is from Vanessa Sumaina's deck from Bow Life. Okay, so we got unconscious games. Yeah, I think this person is very unconscious mentally. I don't even think they're aware of this. I don't even think they like consciously are like trying to hate on you. I think that they are not very evolved. They probably haven't done any shadow work at all. And I feel like for them, they are very rooted into like childhood trauma, or maybe they had parents where it was like with the parents, you know, only one of the siblings got to play the game, or only one of the siblings got a toy on, you know, Christmas morning or something like that, like where maybe they have this idea that only one person gets to do well and the other is the loser. And so them being around you as such a winner makes them feel like a big loser in comparison. But a lot of this is unconscious stuff that this person would benefit immensely from shadow work. However, I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. Some therapy or something like that would really benefit them. What kind of karma is pile 3's person going to be getting, Spirit? What kind of karma is pile 3's person going to be getting? See, I just don't like this person's energy. Like, they just feel so nasty and judgmental. We got the journey. Yeah, I feel like some of you guys, you're just on this beautiful journey in life, and it feels like you're just so accepting of it. You're so embracing of it. It feels like your energy is just young and fresh and vibrant and like open, you know? And I feel like that's going to be what takes you to success. Whereas this person, I feel like they're just rooted in this very old way of looking at things. They're rooted in this idea of it has to be like this, or I'm just going to stick to what I'm always done. And I feel like some of you guys, you're trying this new paradigm. You're kind of being a little bit of a groundbreaker, and this person can't handle it. We also got on fire. Some of you guys are doing really well. You're on fire. No strings attached. And connect with nature. For some of you guys, this could be an ex or even like a family member. I know that's a weird thing to say, like those energies combined, but like where there's something about you guys cutting them off, or there's something about you guys not wanting to be super serious with them. So obviously, hopefully in different ways, but when it comes to like an ex, it might be that you were like, you know, I just can't see us going the distance and I want to be friends again, or something. You cut off the relationship. Or it could be that with a family member, you might have distanced yourself from them, or stopped showing up to the family reunion, stopped going to like Sunday dinner with everyone. But there's some kind of energy with like, oh yeah, pile 3. Well, they're cutting themselves off from me, and this anger and this resentment, because I almost feel like for some of them, they also put a lot on you. Like they really kind of expected you guys to sprinkle your magical fairy dust over them too. Like they thought that, you know, even as much as they resent you, they knew they kind of benefited from your shine. And I feel like instead of you sprinkling your fairy dust on them, you've completely taken back your fairy dust, and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore at all. And this person was a little bit entitled to your energy. They really thought you were always going to be there. And they really thought that they were always going to have you around with like your glow kind of residually reflecting on them. You know, I'm seeing an image, or I don't know if it's a lyric of something, but I feel like there's some kind of image I'm seeing of you were like a bonfire, you know, like you're on fire. Now that I say that, it's so funny what Spirit brings to my mind. And then I look at the cards and I'm like, oh my God. But I'm seeing like a person that's like, they're glowing so bright, they're like a bonfire. And this is weird, but I'm seeing someone like toast marshmallows in their fire, in their flame. And by that I mean like you're such a spark, like the sun, like I was saying, you're the sun, and the sun is such a positive energy, and that's literally the source of all life on this planet. It is one of the two luminaries, but even the moon only reflects back the light from the sun, right? So the sun is such a powerful, and so many cultures worship the sun. We even have Sunday, you know. Anyway, not going down that rabbit hole, but my point is that you guys are this bright shining star, but I feel like this person, you know, it's kind of like someone who goes outside every day and curses the sun, or like needs the light from the sun, so they're grateful for it, but they resent the sun for shining so bright, and they wish and they think they should be able to shine brighter, something like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's definitely the vibe with you, is like this person's like, why does pile 3 get this acclaim? Why is pile 3 so special? Why has pile 3 always been special? Let's get some more cards. Contract, and that was reversed. And then we got 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel, 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. So this person has a lot of healing to do. And then, like I said, this contract came out reversed. I feel like some of you guys, this person might have felt like they had a soul contract with you. They might have felt like they would always have access to you and you just would have to tolerate them. And instead, you know, you cut that off. And they might even feel like that's really unfair. Like, how could pile 3 reject me when I didn't do anything, and when they owe me because we have a soul contract, because we were, you know, we're born into the same family, or because we are twin flames, and so they always have to be in my presence and I always get to have access to them no matter what. But I feel like some of you guys have cut this off and you're just like doing your own thing, living your best life. And as far as their karma, I honestly feel like their karma is going to, maybe one day it'll finally dawn on them what they lost and all the things that they kind of didn't appreciate at the time. And they're going to have other people mentioning it to them. They're going to have other people saying, you know, like, pile 3, you really blew this. Like, pile 3, what the heck? You should have done a much better job on this. So I feel like a lot of these people, they really need to learn to kind of be more honest with themselves about their feelings, instead of, you know, because it's almost like this could have been avoided if they had just been willing to confront their own feelings of inadequacy, if they had been willing to confront their feelings of jealousy and recognize where it came from, and recognize that it was coming from a place of lack rather than just continuously getting angry and getting in this spiral and rabbit hole of like hating on you and being jealous of you and not treating you as well as they should have, but resenting you when you finally got fed up and left. So it's all very pathological, but yeah, I feel like your karma is going to be so positive. You guys are going to go from blessing to blessing, strength to strength, and it's reminding me of Psalm 23. He prepareth me a table in the presence of mine enemies. So I always say, like, spirit is petty, right? And so, like, he's not doing it with, like, the enemies down the street. He's not doing it with the enemies in another room or in another part of town or in a whole other city. He's making the enemies sit there in the room and watch as you feast. And I feel like that's what he is doing for you guys. He is going to have you guys succeed so much. And then these people are going to be mad as hell as they have to watch it. But you know what? That's what they deserve. So anyways, guys, I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. If you were close to this person, or you feel like they were hating secretly and they kept it on the DL for a while and tried to act all nice to you, let me know. Let me know if it resonated and if it's confirmed for you guys. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Give it a like if it resonated as well. And make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. Hit that bell. And if you guys would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about the gossip being said behind your back. So that definitely might apply to you guys. You guys might be very interested in watching that one. And also I talk about what you should do about it. So how you should handle it as well. But when you sign up, you get access to all my readings. I also just posted one all about what your person is fantasizing about you. So it is an 18+ juicy reading, but we get a lot of good info about their romantic fantasies towards you, their deep feelings towards you, and all of that. And like I said, as soon as you sign up, you get access to all of them. So about 45 additional readings all about life, love, spirituality, relocation, money, all different kinds of topics, and new ones go up all the time. So I hope to see you guys there. I hope you will check out my Patreon and join our little Patreon tribe. And the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description as well. And if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me and have my undivided attention about whatever subject you would like to ask me about, or have me channel intuitively, do a mediumship reading for you, or do your astrology chart, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me and get my undivided attention for whatever you would like to talk about or get a year ahead reading, all of those options. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I hope I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, so if you guys picked this apple, this is going to be your reading. I feel like they did such a great job on the coloring with this. It looks super realistic, but anyways, guys, let's get into your cards. So you guys got the 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, the High Priestess reversed, 9 of Swords reversed, 7 of Swords reversed, Knight of Wands reversed, Justice, and the King of Swords. So one thing that's coming through is that this person, whoever they are, part of their karma is going to be missing you. So I don't know if some of you guys had a romantic relationship with this person, or it's an ex-friend, or even family member, coworker, whatever, but I feel like a big part of this person's karma is going to be the absence of you in their life, and almost like they could really use you. Like they're going to be going through a hard time when they feel like they have nothing. They're going to be going through a time when maybe it feels like everything is going wrong for them. They have no one to turn to, and it's almost like a friend like you would have been really useful at this time, or a partner like you, or someone they could turn to, because I feel like for you guys, you might have given this person a lot of great advice, or just been like a rock for them, like someone who really understood them at such a deep level. And I almost feel like right now they're able to kind of tread water and act like everything is fine, and kind of keep going like, oh, well, I don't really miss Pile 4, and it's fine and whatever. But once they come to this really hard point in their life, I feel like they're going to be making a lot of changes and going through a ton of upheaval. It's almost like right now they're running away from the truth, possibly running away from their feelings or emotions towards you in whatever way, pretending like it doesn't bother them what they did to you and the fact that they're no longer in your life. But at a certain point, I feel like they're not going to be able to run anymore, and they're going to have to admit what they did and all the things, all the negative intentions they had. And at that point, I feel like it's going to be like, you're gone and you're not coming back and you're not even open to it. And I feel like at that point, they're going to go through almost like a tower moment where they're going to have to really process all the changes that they should have made way earlier. Because part of the reason I feel like this person treated you really badly is honestly, I feel like because they were not honest with themselves about their emotions towards you, or about the worth you guys bring to the equation. And it's almost like they're trying to see like, how far can I get with this? How far can I keep going? Like I feel like in a way it's almost like they never expected to be able to get this far, or they know it's just a matter of time deep down. They know that it can't last forever. They know that they're being kind of slightly delusional, but at the same time I feel like they're trying to kind of run out this, and I'm hearing grift, so I don't know what this is, but I feel like they are trying to make something work that they know is inevitably not going to work, and sooner or later it's going to fall down like a house of cards. And I feel like when that point comes, they're going to want so badly to be able to turn to you. It's really interesting how many reversals we got. We just got this row of reversals. And so I feel like there's a lot of energy of them being very much in denial when it comes to you, not wanting to acknowledge things that happened, not wanting to be honest about things that happened. And I feel like whatever this situation is, it's just heading for like a crash and burn moment. It's heading for an explosive downfall that they're going to be facing when the chickens come home to roost with whatever this is. So maybe it's like an old business associate, but they're doing something unethical, or they're running their business in like an illegal way. Or maybe it's they're in a relationship with someone and they're pretending everything is fine, but really they're not okay with that. But it's almost like they're trying to live a lie, you know? They're trying to keep going down this path, even though they know and they can feel in their heart that it's not for them. And I do feel like they're just not wanting to take a look at it. A lot of it feels to me very unconscious from this person. Like they don't want to acknowledge what's happening. They don't even want to acknowledge you. It feels like this person is very dysfunctional and never wanted to fully acknowledge you or your power. They might have even felt a little triggered by your presence in their life, or maybe they felt like you, being a powerful person, pile 4, that you commanded more attention than them, or that you saw through them in a way. I don't know, there's some energy with them kind of running from you or being threatened by you, or not wanting to acknowledge how much, I don't want to say better than them that you are, but I feel like there is some kind of part of your power that they never wanted to fully acknowledge. They wanted to deny it. They wanted to pretend. And it feels to me like they built their house, as they say in the Bible, the parable of not building your house on sand, building it on rock. They built their house on sand, and at a certain point, it's going to go sliding down that hillside into the ocean. So I really feel like for them, there's going to come some major point. Maybe they go through a midlife crisis, or they face some consequences from whatever this is. But to me, it feels like that's just a big ball of karma, like plummeting down the hillside towards them, plummeting down the mountain, headed straight towards them. That's going to knock them down on their behind. It's going to really be bad for this person. And I feel like a lot of it is like, I'm seeing that monkey emoji where it's holding its hands over its eyes. So I feel like this person's almost like pretending not to see what's happening. They're pretending that it's not going on, or they're pretending to themselves that like, no, it's going to be fine. But it's very temporary. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this person had to like file for bankruptcy, or has some big disaster coming their way when it comes to this, or gets a divorce. But it just feels like it's going to take a lot of work on their part to kind of fix this situation, whatever it is, untangle this knot they've weaved for themselves. And part of it is right now they're not listening to their intuition. They're trying to deliberately ignore their intuition. And a lot of that is when it comes to you. They don't want to listen to their intuition and admit and acknowledge that they didn't really treat you well. So instead, they're just kind of hustling down, trying to move past it, trying to pretend that none of it really happened. And I feel like sooner or later, there's going to be some big like explosion in their life that they're not going to be able to turn a blind eye to anymore. They're no longer going to be able to just like put their hands over their ears and sing la 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 and pretend it's not happening. You know how like a little kid, sometimes if they don't want to see someone, they'll close their eyes or they'll cover their eyes because they think like, oh, it'll go away. The person will go away if I can't see them. But of course, as adults, we realize that's not the case. But it's almost like that's what this person is trying to do. I almost feel like if this person did you badly, they might really spend a lot of time like just literally running away from their thoughts of you and pretending that, you know, like if they think of you and the sad feelings come up or the feeling of guilt, they would just, you know, turn on some music or turn on the TV or just go online or play a video game or something to try to take their mind off it. So there's a strong runner energy of like, I don't want to acknowledge it. No, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to stay happy but I can see that there's going to be some identity crisis in the future. And this person, honestly, I feel like some of you guys, you're building your life right now on a solid foundation. And so when that moment comes, they might stop and look around and be like, oh, well, actually, I should have been following pile 4, because it's almost like if this is an old business acquaintance or coworker, you might have gotten fired from that job because of something they did. And so you went and got a new job, but it turns out that the job you're at is actually really good and has great benefits, and you're promoted up through the system and you're all keeping it very above board, whereas this person was scheming and doing shady stuff and maybe even like squirreling away money or doing something highly illegal. So when they finally get found out for hiding the money, they're like looking at you and they're like, wow, and if I had just been like pile 4 and done it all legally and ethically, then, you know, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Or if you guys are in a romantic relationship, or they were in a romantic relationship with you, maybe they, you know, are running from their feelings for you. And by the time this downfall moment happens, they get a divorce or whatever crashes and burns, they're going to like turn to you like, okay, so pile 4, can I come back to you? And I feel like at that point, you're going to be like, no, like I moved on. I made a different life for myself. I'm happy. And I don't really want to deal with you. Like you had your chance and you weren't there. So there's going to be this big moment of reckoning where they're really going to have to look at their life and look at their choices and really be very honest and start acknowledging things to themselves. What kind of karma is pile 4's pile going to face? What kind of karma? They're saying, they just said the karma is the pain. So I do feel like in a way they really miss you guys in their life, whoever this person is, and they might just be going through some pain themselves. This person feels to me like they could be kind of shifty and could be the kind of person who really acts like your friend or can seem very vulnerable at times, but it's like ultimately they're really quite selfish. Again, you're not going to be open to this fresh start that they want so badly. Yeah, I feel like that one just flew out really crazily. It like fell into my lap. And we got the Queen of Cups, and I kind of feel like that's you guys, and this was at the bottom of the deck, 8 of Cups. So I'm going to read that as well. I'm feeling called to. So yeah, I feel like for a lot of you guys, like you're going to be this energy of still being in your gentle power and still being kind, loving, and sweet. And this person might have tried to really stomp you out or be really cruel to you. And at a certain point, they're going to have to admit to themselves how much they do miss you and how much you brought to the table and how much they screwed you over. Like, it's in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if this is someone who tried to scapegoat you or claim that you caused all the problems or blame everything on you. And it feels like you just always stayed in your grace. You always stayed in your power, being very kind, being very loving, being very giving. And I feel like they really are going to have to acknowledge and admit how much they miss you and how much your presence was a benefit to their life. But I'm hearing that song by Ava Max. It's a new song by her, but it's Cold as Ice. And the lyrics are something about I'm gone, cold as ice. And I feel like that's how you guys are. Like you're gone. You're done right now with this situation, or you're going to be this way in the future. You're going to be like, I'm gone. You don't even have a chance. You don't even have a little window of tiny pinprick of opportunity with me. Like it's done completely. And I feel like that's going to be a really heavy realization for this person, because it's almost like they think you're always going to be there waiting, or they think that if they decide to, they can kind of crawl back in, apologize, and smooth things over, and it's going to be totally fine. And you know what? Pile 4 will just have to deal with it. Oh well. But it's like they're going to have this very big shock for themselves, this very rude awakening of like, nope, your time is over. Pile 4 is thriving and they have no time and no place for you in their life anymore. Let's go on to these cards as well. So we got Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain, the Wailing Tree, Reconciliations, that's reversed. We got Moon Maiden's New Beginnings, also reversed, right above the Fool, reversed. Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call, Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom, and Many Masks, the Authentic Self. And that's the thing. This person isn't being authentic and honest with themselves. They are wearing a mask that's on so thick that they can't even get it off themselves. You know what I'm thinking of? Someone recommended me to read the book, and it's like, I don't even remember what it's called. That's what it is. A Court of Thorns and Roses or something like that. I think that's the name. It's like a really big fantasy book. They're making it into a movie, and I read some of the first book. And so yeah, it was good, but I feel like what's coming to my mind is that they are like cursed or something to wear a mask at all times. They literally can't take it off, and it's like glued to their faces with some kind of enchantment, and like even if they want to, they can't remove it. And that's what this person is bringing to my mind, is like someone who, even if they wanted to, it's like they have stuck this mask on so tight, so hard for themselves, because they are so afraid of the pain of acknowledging. I almost feel like for some of these people, they know deep down they treated you really bad. They know they stabbed you in the back. They know they were in the wrong. They know they were the ones that messed up, but they will never tell themselves that. They will never be honest or have the bravery to honestly confront this. And in a way, this is really their karma, because they're unable to be honest with themselves. Look at that. I didn't even mention it, but I was meaning to mention it, but you know, I get like distracted and on these tangents. We got the High Priestess reversed. And so their intuition, well, what happens when we run away from things is we cut ourselves off from intuition and from God. Whenever we are like, I just don't want to deal with this, like maybe you're stressed about something or you're nervous about something, and you feel insecure about something or whatever, it's just a negative emotion. We tend to start doing this thing where we just start running emotionally inside our minds. And I feel like that's what this person is doing. Like, instead of sitting with the negative emotion, and that's why, like, that's literally what meditation is. It's just sitting with yourself, because so many people don't do it. And then you're surprised that you get a download from spirit, but that's because that's how you talk to spirit. You cannot talk to spirit when you're running from these things. You cannot talk to spirit when you're like on 10 of like panic mode, running away from whatever the situation is. And that's the real punishment from this person, is it has really cut themselves off from their intuition, from God, from spirit, from their ability to tune into their whole life. It's not just with you. It's about, I feel like, their overall life decisions. And this is where I say, I see this person having like a midlife crisis or some major life-changing event with them. Because right now, it's almost like they're in such a delusional state that they can't even make any accurate assessments of what they want in their life, because a big part of life is just picking the choices for us, right? Being like, I want this kind of a job, I want this kind of a partner, I want to live in this kind of a place. And that's why you hear those kind of sad stories about someone who's like married with 3 kids and they live in Alabama and they are happy and they're working at a job as a teacher or something, and then suddenly they decide to pack up their things and leave their whole family behind, and they go through some crazy event, midlife crisis, and it's super messy, and leave their family for someone else, and like have an affair with a coworker, and then they're doing this chaotic stuff. And it's like, wow, if you had only just tuned into your intuition 20 years earlier, before you got in this whole situation and brought children into the mix, that would have been ideal. It's never too late to live your truth, but at the same time, like, wow, can't you just like fast forward that process so you're not causing a bunch of trauma to everyone else around you? Like, come on. Or do it if you do have to be like, you know what, I made a big mistake and I aligned myself with the wrong destiny for me and I have to switch paths. And maybe do it in a nice way that's respectful of everyone else and not causing chaos and trauma to like small children. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's where you hate to see someone living a life that's a lie for themselves, is because you know that as they take on these other responsibilities and have kids or have pets or take on a job responsibility, that sooner or later that's going to have the explosion. It's kind of like I said, that house built on sand, or if you could imagine a skyscraper or any kind of building that you build on sand, it's going to affect others if you have them move into that building, right? So that's why it's such a problem. And I feel like this person, they don't even realize they're like entangling themselves more and more and more in this chaos, and more and more in this bad, unfoundational, like janky situation that sooner or later is just going to fall down, like I said, like a house of cards. And I feel like that is going to happen. I feel like this person is going to have at some point a crisis, a turning point moment, a decision that they've built their life completely wrong. And it's going to be when they are no longer able to ignore that call from spirit, that high priestess energy. They're going to have their intuition just beating down their door, nipping at their heels, calling to them, and finally they're going to admit, like, you know what, I did this whole thing wrong. But it's kind of like the more you go down the wrong path, the worse it gets. Like I mentioned to you guys, I went on a hike, and you know, it was this beautiful hike. This was a few summers ago, and it was in Virginia in the middle of summer. It was so beautiful, and I was just on this hike. And I had meant to follow the path, but it was super overgrown. Like, I think no one had been on this hike for a while. So I'm like, well, it's really beautiful. It's perfect outside. The birds are chirping, and I'm going on this hike. And then at some point, I don't even know what point, there comes a time when I vaguely remember being like, okay, is the path there or is the path there? I really can't see. It's so overgrown. If you've ever been to like Virginia in the summer, you know it's like super green and lush. So I'm like, okay, it's so overgrown. I can't really see. I think it's that way. And I took the wrong path. And let me tell you, I got so freaking lost. I was so terrified. My phone was obviously dying because that's always how it happens, right? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get stuck here overnight. I'm going to have to like somehow sleep underneath a tree or something. And it was super scary. And I was like, I wish I had just been more careful when I was taking that path. I wish I had just paused for a moment and like done some searching and been like, okay, wait, well, let me try this. Okay, it's not looking like a path. And then this one looks a little bit better. And I had just taken a pause, taken a moment, and chosen the right path, because the more we get down that wrong path, the harder and harder it gets to come back in a safe way. I eventually was fine and like did get back to my car, but it just took a really it took a super long time, and it was a really scary process. So that's my point, is I feel like this person, it's almost like they've been hiking down the wrong path and they're just like trying to keep going. And it's just a matter of time before they'll finally admit like, yeah, I got way off track, and they're finally willing to go back. And then when that comes, I do feel like this person will reach out to you. I wouldn't be surprised if you get some tearful email or text or DM or something like that of this person talking about how they made such a huge mistake and they're in so much pain and they can't believe they treated you that way, and like I feel horrible, because I do feel like it's gonna cause them pain. We also got the 9 of Swords reverse, as well as this Fool's Embrace transmuting pain card. So honestly, I feel like they are in a lot of pain. I feel like they are growing through it. And I don't know if you guys could hear it, but there was just a loud honk. I feel like that's confirming. Like, this person is in pain. Do not mistake this. Do not mistake the fact that they like to act like they don't care. And in a way, they don't care in this moment, because right now, I don't even think they feel any emotion. They're so they're so used to just running away from their feelings, running away from their emotions, pretending like it's not happening, pretending that everything is cool. That's their MO. That's their habitual way of dealing with whatever, is just put it on the back burner, pretend it's not happening, ignore it, and whatnot. And so when it comes to you guys, I feel like this person is really going to at a certain point no longer be able to outrun their feelings. They're not going to be able to pretend anymore, and that's when it's going to come crashing down on them. And that's when you're going to get hit up by them, the DM, the reach out, the phone call, the long overwrought email, you know, the Facebook or Instagram message or whatever, where they are finally admitting that they really, really screwed up. And I feel like when that moment comes, you guys are just going to be like, I know, like, no, baby, no. I'm sorry. I made a whole new life. It does not involve you. And honestly, I'm so much happier now. And I'm hearing that song by Taylor Swift, I Forgot That You Existed. And, you know, that's what she says. Like, my life is so good right now. And I'm hearing the lyrics. It's like, everything's so peaceful and quiet. I forgot that you existed. And I feel like that's kind of the thing. And the thing about that song is she's saying, taught me some hard lessons. I just can't remember what they were. And the whole point is, I feel like you guys are willing to embrace the hard lessons. You were willing to go through this pain much earlier. You probably cried about them at times when they were like laughing about you and thinking, oh, who cares? And you were the one who was willing to confront your emotions and feelings. So at a certain point, they're going to be the ones trying to come back, apologizing, wanting this new fresh start with you. And you're just like, I moved on. I'm sorry. There's not even a little bit of room for you in my life. I'm happy. I'm sorry you're doing so badly, but oh well, you should have probably made better choices, I guess. Yeah, I don't feel like you guys are going to be super sympathetic to them. And oh well. Let's get some more cards for pile 4, community. Indecision. Wow. And that's funny because that's almost like the image that I was describing on that hike, right? It's kind of similar, even though that's in winter. But yeah, I feel like it's like, you know, that poem, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood and I took the road less traveled by, but it's like, and I took the stupid, dumb choice. That's their version of that poem. That's the other version Robert Frost was going to write, but didn't. But anyway, let's see what else we got. Magician in the Mirror. I think one card was going to fly out and it almost came out, but I'm feeling called to take it. It was Patience. Okay. So, Door to Value reversed, Angel of Balance reversed, Angel of Strength. So yeah, and I'm being told to take one more card. So yeah, I feel like this person, we have Archangel Chamuel, which rules over the heart chakra. So honestly, this person right now, they're kind of ignoring their feelings. I feel like they make a lot of justifications to themselves. I feel like they would tell themselves, like, really right now, you know, I feel like they know that they did screw up, but they would also tell themselves, you know, I didn't do it, or it was pile 4, they overreacted, or pile 4 is being dramatic, or pile 4 will come back to me. You know what? They're playing hard to get now, but like they're gonna be back. Or I'm better off without pile 4. I'm glad I left them. They're not that great. There's just so much delusion and coping, but honestly, deep down, there are some really strong feelings. And honestly, I just got this wave of sadness. I think that's what they are going to be feeling in the future. And if that is a little dose of it, wow. Oh my God, I actually do have sympathy for them, because they are going to be going through it in the future. And I literally feel physical pain in my heart right now. So confirmation, they are going to be going through a heartbreaking moment. They are going to be going through a lot of feelings of pain, seeing you guys, not being able to access you guys, not being able to be around you guys. I'm hearing your personality is amazing, pile 4. And you could be really funny and witty around them, is what I'm hearing, and like make them laugh. This person is just very self-centered, very self-focused. And they're not having the kind of life they wanted or they thought they were going to have. I feel like it's almost like they were like, well, I can replace pile 4. Whatever. Pile 4 is not that great. Pile 4, you know what? Please, they didn't bring that much to my life. But instead, it's just proving your point, really. Like, the fact that they don't have you, it's like they're just not doing good. They're just not thriving in the way they thought they should. But it's almost like they're able to maintain this now. And when that tower moment hits, I wouldn't want to be around for it. I definitely wouldn't want to be around for it. So I do feel like with the patience card, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of waiting out the craziness. It's kind of like, you know, if you have like a problem with your car, or you have a problem with your bicycle. I'm seeing a bicycle with like something wrong with the wheel. It's only a matter of time before it really breaks, right? Like, we all know those people, or maybe we've done it ourselves, who will be like, yeah, it's kind of broken, but you know what? It still works. Like, or something wrong with your phone or something like that. Maybe you don't want to replace your phone yet, but you're like, yeah, like the screen's kind of cracked, or this app doesn't really work quite well, but you know what? It's fine because blah, blah, blah. But it's just a matter of time, right? Before something goes wrong or it finally stops working. It's already on the fritz, and maybe you can keep it moving somewhat. Maybe you can keep that bicycle or that car going somewhat, but at a certain point, if there is a problem like that, it is going to crash and burn and have a serious issue in the future. And I feel like that's the thing with this person, is they built a life that has a lot of problems. So these cards are from the Bow Life deck by Vanessa Sumaina. We got Jar of Dreams. They might dream of you, or have dreams of you. I'm also hearing that song from Taylor Swift where she's talking about, she says, screaming at the sky. I can't remember that song name, but she's basically talking about betrayal. And I think it's about the guy that like sold her masters, or the guy who she had originally had at the record company, and then how he sold it to like Scooter Braun or whatever, and how she just felt so betrayed by that. And she's like, and I feel like that's a really good example of it. Like, and it's funny because those masters that they sold, they're basically kind of worthless now, because she's gone through, and she is going through and remaking all of them. So they're like worth so much less now. But they took her for granted. They kind of knew she didn't want her masters sold, but they thought, I'm going to do it anyway and whatever. And now, you know, they've gotten a lot of bad PR from it. And I feel like that's the thing with you. They kind of just thought they could throw you away. They just kind of thought they could, you know, oh, well, it doesn't matter, but it's just, sooner or later, they're going to feel this absence. They are. Guys, I had to refilm that because some of the cards on this deck can be a little risque. Nothing too bad, but like, you know, maybe a woman in a bikini or something, but I just don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm. So I'm going to shuffle again, but the card did say the best of you. Okay, and then, oh my gosh, it's the same one. Okay, so I'll just put that on the side so I can see it. But yeah, that's definitely a vibe for you guys. So we got Jar of Dreams, Multiple Streams, Unconscious Games, and Endless Serendipity. So I feel like you're just going to keep going from strength to strength. Some of you guys are really going to be achieving and accomplishing amazing dreams, and maybe even doing something somehow that gets you some kind of public acclaim, and this person will see you doing really well. Or maybe it's just posting on your Insta, but you look amazing, you look beautiful, or you get some kind of like award even within your industry or something like that. But I feel like this person is going to have to hear about how well you're doing, how amazing you guys are, and they're going to have to be reminded of your name. And that's what that song is. I wish I could remember the name. I know all the Swifties will know it in the comments, but I know the lyrics, and it's like cursing my name, wishing I'd stayed. Tell me how my tears ricochet, something like that. Okay, I remember the name. It's My Tears Ricochet. But anyway, I feel like that's the thing. She's such a great poet with her like lyrics and everything. And she says, my tears ricochet. So basically when something ricochets, right, it bounces off and then bounces back. And so in a way, it's like you're the one crying now, but they're the ones that are going to be crying later. And I feel like, or it's also giving that, you know, Drake, laugh now, cry later. I feel like for you guys were crying now and then you'll be laughing later, and they have the opposite. It's almost like they think right now they've gotten away with something, or they think they're doing really good, but sooner or later they're not going to be able to spin their wheels and pretend. They're going to have to acknowledge, wow, I took an L. Wow, I messed up. Wow, I'm mad I don't have Pal 4 in my life. But right now they're full of this false bravado. They're full of acting like, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me. And I feel like they definitely would want to kind of like run into you again, or try to get into your life. When they do want to try to come back into your life, they're kind of weaselly energy, to be honest. And I wouldn't be surprised if they approach you in a kind of weaselly, underhanded way of acting like, well, I have to talk to you because of this. Like if it's an old coworker, it's like, oh, hey, by the way, I wanted to text you. I wanted to mention that something about the company, and could you do a like quick Q&A with me for this? Oh, and by the way, I heard you got that promotion. And they're trying to like restart something, and it's a flimsy excuse to get in touch with you. Or if it's an ex, maybe it's like, you know, oh my gosh, I bumped into you. Or like, oh, hey, how have you been? I haven't even thought of you, but I was just going through Facebook and they suggested your profile. Or if it's a family member, like maybe using some kind of family thing to get back in touch with you, like saying, oh, like your aunt passed, and so you need to come to her funeral, and oh wow, I haven't seen you in years. But anyway, like they're so dishonest, and I dislike that. Like they refuse to humble themselves and admit that they messed up. They still are taking you for granted,